What's up, everybody? Welcome back to not welcome back. This is new. Welcome to season 2. And welcome back to Sunday Ain't Enough podcast. We hope everyone's been doing great. We are glad, happy, excited, exuberant, SAT word, to bring you another season because we believe that it's going to help us change lives, and we just hope you guys can relate.
Sunday ain't enough. One season ain't enough.
Yeah,
so
one season ain't enough. So we here with season 2. And it's March, so it's what is it? International Women's History Month.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you know that, Sam?
Someone told me. I don't remember who told me though. They got on all black, but yeah. International Women's Month. So during this month this month of March, we're gonna have female special guests. I shouldn't say female. Women. I shouldn't say women.
What?
That doesn't bother me. Yeah, like I'm not one of those like, don't call me a female. I mean,
yeah,
woman, female.
Is it
lady.
just the tone somebody uses when they say it?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, if you say you females, if you're trying to,
Mm-hmm.
True. We're gonna have some influential women to grace this podcast. Let me just say that. Yeah, that sounded better, right?
I like it.
All right, but besides that, today we're talking about a very, very special topic, and I don't know if you guys are ready for it. Are they ready?
We are, or they are?
They are.
Oh, I'm probably not ready.
I don't know if we are either, but
the way my life look, it probably seemed like
Darian, I was going to throw out a disclaimer like, look, I am not no expert at this. I don't even think I'm qualified.
We're just making it work.
We're not experts?
No, you just got lucky with
She right. I got lucky. I'm not an expert. She's actually very right. You're probably wondering what the topic is. It's dating.
If you hadn't figured it out.
Dating. So we're going to kick it off with, what is dating? There's so many different perspectives. There's so many phases. You got talking, you got going out on dates. So what is dating, like literally? Drop it in the comments too. What is dating to you guys while we explore? I'm going to start with, you look like you're ready.
Well, I was just going to say that I think the fact that we even have to define this is probably part of the problem with dating right now anyway, that everybody has a different definition. So what I call dating and what I think you and I are doing may not be what you think we doing. And so that poses issue number 1. But I guess for me, if I had to define dating, I would say it's the process of getting to know someone, hanging out, spending time together, with or without intentionality.
I feel the same way. I think dating is, I think it's like the jargon out there is gathering information. And I think it, as you vet people, it should lead to a courtship. So I don't think dating and courting are the same thing.
Oh, she done added something else in there, courting.
And I think in 2022, I think it's just same exact thing happens. They just change the words. So talking is dating and dating is courtship. Yeah.
Wow.
I can agree with that.
That's good.
I can agree with that.
Because I'm 38, so I consider myself a little old fashioned. Like talking is so casual. But I like how you put it, like people are putting a label on just talking. Like they're saying, no, we're dating. And in my head, it's like, you're just talking. Then it's like, you can get selective, or I want to know this person a little bit better. So now we're dating. Then it's like, okay, out of this group right here, I'm taking this person serious. I state my intentions. They state their intentions. Now we move into the courting phase. And you're saying people are calling the courting dating. Cause it's like, it could lead, because I'm thinking sex, I'm thinking all types of stuff can happen prematurely because it goes from just casually talking to we're in the courting phase without those things being defined. And you're saying the people, that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Like, oh yeah, we talk like in that talking phase, you can still go out, you can still do something, but there's no, like you said, you haven't had that conversation of, oh, this is what we're doing. And so I think talking is the new dating, and then dating is the new courting.
That's crazy because what is talking? Like you can talk.
I think that's the gathering information. Like
So
that's
the
why
gathering
it's like
information.
Well, that's why he's saying like dating is the new talking. Because it's basically the same. Again, I feel like we're playing on words because dating and talking can be the same thing. But again, it depends on the person, obviously, because Kwamina's definition and Darian's definition may be not the same. Because obviously,
Yeah.
Kwamina feels like that if we're talking, we aren't considered dating. Whereas from Darian's, he's like, they're interchangeable in 2022. So I think
True.
it's just something that you and that person, if y'all are trying to work towards something, you got to talk about.
So from the jump, I think Kwamina said dating was like gathering information, kind of like data. I don't know if that's what that's
okay,
about.
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're
That's
doing there.
That's where it came from.
Mm.
Because if I'm dating and if I'm gathering information, can't I gather information from multiple people?
Yes.
You
Yes.
gotta
So-
cite your sources though.
Cite your okay. That's true. We're writing a paper. So it's like I know dating may seem exclusive to one person, but is it? Like, is it wrong to date multiple people since you're just gathering information? Since you're not,
Ooh. So what's people's definition on can you date more than one person?
I know back in the day they did it, no problem.
Like, you don't think that happens in 2022?
I don't think it happens as
Dating multiple people?
I think it happens. I just think there's more drama involved now. Because I think our generation is a little more
Again, I think it just depends on the person. Because again, if me and a guy are, from my definition, dating, it might mean exclusively to me. It may not to him. So again, I think the bottom line is I'm going to have to keep coming back to this, that it depends on y'all's communication, what y'all have established as your relationship. Because I don't think it's wrong to date multiple people at a time, because I think that that's how you, one, get to weed out what you do and don't like, who you do and don't like, where you spend your time. But I think, and you can sometimes sense when somebody feels like this is supposed to be a more serious connection, and then you need to have that talk like, hey, I enjoy spending time with you, but I'm not there yet. Or if you're the person that wants it to be a little more serious, then maybe you're like, I enjoy that time. I don't feel like we've had the conversation like it is or isn't exclusive. What do you, where do you see us going?
So in your definition of dating, is it wrong to date multiple people?
I always make these basketball analogies. And if you just,
Correct.
you might need additional players at the same position.
Yeah.
Back up.
Back up in case injuries.
Six man off the bench.
Somebody gotta come up, bring a spark. Like you don't know exact, because at that point you don't know. You don't know exactly
Right.
what you need to actually take you to where you need to be. And so you're trying to figure it out. And also at that point, something I'm kind of figuring out on my own is that people don't want to play if they think the team not nice.
Ooh.
So now they come in and they're like, well, I'm gonna start anyway. So I could just come out
Right.
here and do it.
Do
But then it's like,
whatever.
ooh, why he go? You know what? But I don't think to use that in a manipulation tactic. That's just who you are. Hey, this is what I'm doing. And the best of luck to you.
So is what you're kind of saying is people don't want to date somebody that other people aren't interested in?
I think there's an element
wow.
of that. And there's also people will take you for granted.
Right. If
Or
they
treat
don't
you-
feel like there's a challenge, there's no
Right.
competition.
It's like, oh yeah, I got this locked up.
You're not vying for that
Yeah.
QB1 spot.
Exactly.
Got you.
My thought is like completely opposite of what you're saying. I'm like, if it's everybody wants to be on the starting team, would you, sorry to put it out there, manipulate where it's like, hey, I don't look like a starter, so I can see this person's genuine intentions for me?
And I think they can, if somebody's doing it right, they would have that conversation with you to say like, this is what's going on, this is how I feel, this is how I'm operating. And then you would know, okay, he's not ignoring me or pushing me to the side to see if like I'll hit him up. But I think there are opportunities where people can get left behind or not give everything they got just because it's like, I don't really need to right now.
My opinion about dating, I think you definitely should be dating multiple people. Again, we're not talking about courting, we're talking about dating, because when I'm dating someone, I want to see them in different lights. Formal restaurants, at the beach, around their family, around my family, casually at the house. Because, you know, people can put on faces in different scenarios. So when I'm dating, I'm vetting people to see like, okay, I like this person's personality, or I don't like that about them. I'm trying to see compatibility. The jargon, like I said, is gathering data. So I don't need to be exclusively to someone because I'm gathering data.
My question, because I've heard you use two words that I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of you may not know. So we're going to get you to explain vetting and courting. What does that mean?
Vetting is you have your standards, or you have a list of things that you are looking for in someone else. And so when you're talking to someone, you may be seeing, do they line up with that list? An example, I had a friend, he said he wanted to be with someone that knew how to properly eat. So properly use utensils.
Oh, okay.
That was big to him. And so I would say if I was in his shoes, I would be like, hey, let's go get some Burger King. And then, cause I don't want to be manipulative, but if I tell you, hey, we're going to a formal dining restaurant, you may have time to look it up. You may have time to put on that face, you know? So I may be like, hey, we're going to Burger King. And I'm like, I got time. You got time? You got like 2 hours to kill? Let's go to Yum to Yum. And that'll be a fancy restaurant. Catch that person off guard, and see how they're interacting in that formal setting. See, are they fumbling?
I don't like that kind of stuff.
Oh, Lord.
I'm vetting. I'm vetting my potential partners.
You can vet, but like you said, it's like just because they don't know how to use their utensils today, if I care about you enough,
I can help you.
All I got to do is take a class and we're done. Why would you X me out because I don't know how to pick the right fork?
I like that.
That's the stuff where I'm like, people are willing to, you got to find somebody's core and who they are, intentionality, where their heart is. But those kind of things, I'm like.
Yeah, I feel like that's an age-old discussion that I mean, anytime we hear about dating or have a discussion on dating, we talk about lists. And, you know, when you get to a point where you're serious about really trying to settle down, I think it's okay to still have your standards, have your list of the traits that you want out of someone. But there are things that when you first make that list at 18 or 19, 20, your list might be full of superficial things like, oh, if he not 6'8", if he not pulling in 7 figures. I mean, really, like at 18? Okay, guys. I mean, even at 40, 50, 60, I mean, some of those things. And then you can go through some years of dating unsuccessfully. And now you're like, all right, well, I've learned maybe this isn't realistic. Maybe this isn't realistic. So I think that's where Darian is kind of going. Like, yeah, I mean, having somebody that may be cultured or know how to eat properly at a 5-star restaurant may be a desire of yours, but are you gonna just X them off the list altogether or X her off the list altogether because she don't know to work from the outside in? Or is that something that you can work with the person to, because they have other traits that are on your list? I mean, they are God-fearing. They have a good heart. They have a good work ethic and things like that. I can work with you on telling you, hey, use a salad fork. This one.
So now I can go into answering the other question about courting. So courting is you done vetted people, and like Darian and Kim are saying, it's like, okay, they got that type of thing going on, but man, when I had that flat tire, he was there for me. Or when I can come to this person and they are solution minded, you know, it's like, oh, it's something deeper than just these superficial things. Now you have to gather the courage and say, hey, I'm really feeling you, or whatever your terminology may be. I want this to be exclusive. Right now, we're just friends. We're just kicking it. I have people that I'm seeing. You may have people that you're seeing, but I want it to just be us. And I want it to have a title or a label. You may not have to go there, but you're like, hey, I want this to now be serious. And if the person might be like, you know, I'm not ready for that right now. That's okay. You have to respect that. Or a person may be like, you know what? Hey, I didn't have people on the side because I was feeling you from day one. Whatever the case may be, you guys are having that talk and you're taking it to another level where it's it's now serious. You're like, hey, that's my boyfriend, or we are now exclusive. And you're putting aside the superficiality, like they were saying, hey, he may not be good at this or she may not be good at that, but we can teach and coach each other because we're moving into a partnership now. And that's what it's meant by courting. And courting, when you're moving into that partnership and it's serious and it's just you two, you're seeing, how does this person fit into my future and how do I fit into their future? Because we're thinking about something long-term leading to marriage.
Everybody want to talk, but don't nobody want to listen. I think when they, let's have this conversation. People shy away from those conversations because half the people they try to have them with don't want to listen.
Okay. So would you scratch that person out?
Oh, no, I'm saying it like, I think what you're saying is how it should go and how it should work about, let's have this conversation. Where are we? But people don't want to do that because, I said that to her, but she didn't hear what I had to say. She heard what she wanted to hear. So then now there's a disconnect of what your intentions are or what she may think because people aren't hearing to understand. They're just listening so they can also talk and get a point across.
Okay. And if I'm in that situation, hey, and I'm saying I want to step it up, I'm also putting down my guard and I'm being vulnerable. And I'm going to continue to be that because I find that person worthy for me to be that way. So I would be like, hey, I don't feel like you heard me. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I want to be exclusive. You're the only person. Like, I'm gonna be as clear as possible. And even if it hurts me, I'm gonna see where they stand. Because it shouldn't be no beating around the bush. It shouldn't be, I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening. It's like, it should be clear communication. It may not happen at first because people could be caught off guard. People could be shocked. But when you come again, that person should be like, yes, I don't mind us being girlfriend and boyfriend. I don't mind us being exclusive. But anything other than that, that's kind of like, to me, playing a game.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to be dating multiple people. But then one of the captions I see the most, if I'm an option, don't choose me.
Ooh.
Yes.
Bro.
But in the dating phase, that person is an option.
But I think that again goes back to then there's a disconnect because you trying to get chose, period. And they still trying to figure out who's taking that point guard position. And so y'all got to disconnect. So you got to talk through it. And if you feel like you ready to settle down and he need to know who's starting, well, first of all, not even starting, like this is it. Then if you're not capable of playing that role where I don't want to say competing, but ultimately, you kind of are when you are dating, you're competing for that role in that person's life. And if you can't play that game, then you got to get off the court. And there's nothing wrong with that because, there were times when I was dating that I'm ready to settle down and I get that you still trying to figure it out, but I don't want to play this game. Because I feel like at this point, you should know enough about me. And if for me to say, I think you should know enough about me at this point, and if you're not ready to choose me, then that's fine. Then I got to move on.
A new starting lineup, right?
A new starting lineup.
Not the whole lineup.
Whole squad.
So it's kind of like the point of dating is to eventually start a relationship, correct?
Yes.
Again, not everybody want to be in that.
What's the point of dating?
To just have companionships and people to hang out with. If it's somebody that Darian enjoys basketball, if he's trying to go see, a game in DC this weekend, and he got one of his starting one of his on his roster. One of the people on his roster also enjoys athletic events. Then they might decide to go together because they'll enjoy it together. Or if he just want to go lay out at the beach, and the one that like to go to the games don't like outside, well, his two man might like it. And so it's just somebody. It could be. It has different purposes, but it can be somebody that you're just spending time with or without intentionality.
Yeah.
Is that dangerous, not having intentionality?
As long as it's communicated, I don't think so.
As long as it's communicated.
You got to know where each other stands. I think day one, do I expect on the first date this man to be like, it's just me and you? I don't think that's realistic. Personally, I don't think that's realistic. But after a couple weeks, a couple months or whatever, again, based on how y'all's relationship is progressing, it may be, a situation again where I'm ready to have that conversation. Or this ain't what I'm looking for. I mean, I'm not trying to settle down, so we just gonna keep doing what we're doing.
So what's the take on people be like, oh, I'm dating with intentionality. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you will do. What's y'all take on like one person being like, I'm here chilling, and the other person like, I don't need to be intentional right now, but I kind of know in the back of my mind, like, this person could, yeah. What's y'all take on like letting things go from unintentional to intentional, or bridging that gap between two people that's not at the same exact spot at the same exact time?
I really think that if we really think about it, everything we do is with an intention. So it's kind of like, I don't understand how a person could date without any intentions to go further in a relationship, because you just wouldn't be dating them if you didn't have any intentions.
They call it casual dating.
Let me tell you, Sam, this is why I said in the beginning, you just got lucky.
No. I've been there,
people
though.
just be out here trying to get that meal or
I
get
know.
flued out.
I know.
And couldn't see a date next week with you.
Yeah. Yep. It's casual dating.
So it's not dating then.
I still would call it dating.
So then what would you say that is?
Hanging out, playing around, fooling around, hurting people.
Dang.
I love it.
Being a player. Like, players don't date.
What is it? I ain't a player. I just crush a lot.
Right. Just crush a lot.
Got a few crushes.
So I think at that point, it's not dating. You just fooling around with people.
So for you,
playing a
dating
game.
has to be with intention.
It has to be. That's the only reason.
So that's
it
your
could be dating.
definition. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Nah, because that's going to turn back into
I know.
the other.
Darren said, I'm opting
She
out.
cut it off. Great. Okay. All right.
Noted. Mental note.
Noted.
No, I'm just kidding.
So, I mean, since we're talking about dating and intention, unintentional, let's talk about dates. What are some of the, I guess, cringiest or best dates you've been on?
Ooh, I wasn't ready for the best.
Or what's your ideal date? Let's start with the women.
Oh, no pressure.
No pressure.
I'm laid back. Kim, how about you?
It don't gotta be
No,
specific.
you don't have a story?
When I had read the itinerary, it was like a bad scenario, or I was like, I haven't been on a bad date.
Congratulations for you.
That's great.
But I've been in bad relationships.
Okay.
A series of dates.
I mean, I hope, because I like this story. And I don't necessarily think that this was an actual bad. It just turned out kind of wild. So me and this girl, we went to get some pizza, and there was a whole lot of pizza. So we took, some of it to go. And we walk into the parking lot, and this homeless man comes up, and he's like, yeah, y'all got food, I help a brother out. And we look like, okay, he can have our pizza. Hand him the pizza. I'm going to her door, open the car door, real gentleman stat. But as I'm doing that, he's like, oh, thank you, brother, thank you. And he goes to shake my hand. And I was like, all right, hit him with the fist bump. And I'm still looking at him. He's still kind of standing around. And she don't really jump in the car. He's like, so he opens his arms up, and she's still in her, in her good spiritness. And I'm all for women empowerment. We were dating and not exclusive. So I said, do as you please, ma'am. She goes, gives him a hug. And, it's hard for me to say that a homeless man kissed my date before I did. Hugged her, kissed her on the neck. And I was like, I froze, and I was like, well, you should have got in the car. Because then at that point, like I said, she wasn't my girlfriend. So she might have liked it. I don't know. She might have wanted to leave with him. So I had to just be like, that's tough. I had to take that on my own chin.
Right.
And then afterwards, she looked at me like,
help.
And I'm like, you want me to fight the homeless man right now? Like,
What?
you
We're not exclusive. I can't lay down my life.
like, okay. I mean, if you out here and you belong to the streets, then I
So
don't know.
she expected you to do something?
Afterwards, I was like, I
What?
opened the door to usher you in, and you chose to,
She made a conscious decision.
to go
give
with
him
the
a
other
hug
brother,
and get a-
to go with the, and he definitely took his shot, and I mean, she was a good
Yo.
looking good shit. Hey, he took his shot. I respected it, but then, yeah.
I don't understand what she expected you to do in that situation, but that's wild.
So then afterwards, it was a little bit of but then I just kind of, this was around the time the Kevin Hart thing came up, and he was talking about the bum bump.
Oh.
And so I made a few of those jokes and then like lighten the mood, and then we was back good.
So are y'all still dating?
We are not dating, but she is, I will say she's one of the like most genuine, good-hearted people I've ever come in contact with. And I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but there's been different versions of me.
I like that.
Like the immature version, the unprepared version. And like whenever I was those people, she didn't treat me like that person.
Wow.
So I always appreciate her for that.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
So if you're out here watching our podcast, we might have a new version of Darian
Yeah.
that you can, holler
Jean
at,
jacket
pick up the
Darian.
phone, call him up.
She know that the dude kissed her too, so she know who it is.
That bum bump still might be
Bump on your
there.
neck.
I don't feel like mine is a good one, but I just remember, so it never works out when a friend sets me up with somebody. I mean, I've been set up on a blind date before. I've been set up with like, oh, my boyfriend's friend, let's double date. And so I just remember going on this double date, and we went bowling and off jump. And it was so long ago, I can't even remember why I did not care for this person. But I just remember the whole night, I was just like, every time he would talk, I was just like, and it's really hard for me when I'm disinterested. It's hard to not look
Disinterested.
Yeah.
I understand.
So at the end of the night, he's like, I had a really great time. And I'm also I don't like hurting people's feelings. And so I was really torn because he's like, I had a really great night. So we're going down the escalator. My friend and her boyfriend, they hugged up. And meanwhile, I'm like, okay, stay 2 steps behind. You let 2 escalator steps go between us. No, I was just kidding. And so he's, I had a really great time. I'd really like to keep this going. And I at this point, I was ready to be settled down, and I knew this was not it. And so I had to make the big girl decision to just say, I'm glad, you had a great time, but I don't think this is
Dang. You let him down easy.
as easy as I could. And then I just got in the car and drove off.
I can really imagine you like so disinterested in this man. Like,
It-
this
it
was funny.
It was I felt really bad, but I just wasn't into him. So, I
Hey.
mean, it's nothing wrong with him. There is someone out there I don't know if there's someone out there for everybody, guys. I really don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know that.
I pray there is, but he won't the one. So,
True.
And you didn't lead him on.
yeah,
Good job.
I really try not to lead people
That's
on. I mean,
right.
I'm either interested or not. Because I don't want anybody, I always say that. I don't want somebody leading me on. And same thing, like
Very
if you know I'm not the one, stop hitting me up. Don't send me good morning, beautiful texts. And I don't need that. I can live my life peacefully, knowing that you think I'm not it, and I can sleep well, wake up, and go on by my day. Don't string. I hate when people string people along.
Yeah, that's bad.
In casual dating, what's you guys' opinions about people getting strung along? Because it seems like it's blurry. The line is blurry between girlfriend and just friends.
Right. Because you thinking,
Yeah.
how casual should I treat the person, right?
Mhm.
You could still be a good person and be like, dang, it would be nice of me if I thought of them to send them a good morning, but that's something more intentional dating should do. So do you not do something that could be good for the person because it's not good for where y'all are?
Well, I think with something
Yes.
like that, it can be maybe not every morning I send you a good morning, but like genuinely, if I woke up and you were on my mind, I might hit you and be like, "Oh, I really enjoyed our date last night. I hope you have a great day."
Mm-hmm.
But then if you do it back to back or 7 days a week, you're making me feel like this is a little more intentional as opposed to every now and then. So I think it depends on how you approach things. But I do have a question. We just came off last month, Valentine's Day.
Okay.
If you're casually dating,
Uh-oh.
do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you get the person something? Do you just send them a little something? Are you doing this for all your whole starting lineup? I mean, what does that look
That's
like?
a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. What does that look like?
When I was dating casually, no, I didn't do anything for Valentine's Day. I didn't celebrate it.
Did you get in trouble by any of the girls?
I mean, they might have said something, but did I get in trouble? No.
What did they say though?
It was more like shade being thrown.
Like, oh, so you ain't even get me no teddy bear.
And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I sure didn't. Because I mean, you're not. I'm showing you that. I'm showing you that.
Right.
I'm not trying to do anything further.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't do much.
It's going to be like, if I do anything, I totally disagree with casual dating, you guys, because you should have intentions behind it.
Yeah.
For me, it's been like a place where I've gotten hurt. I've hurt others because it's no intentionality. Nothing's being stated. So if casual dating is involved, you're either not going to get a gift. And if you do get a gift, it's going to be like that $4 box of chocolate and like a $1 fake rose.
Fake.
No effort is going into it because it's just casual. Yet you don't want to lead people on to think, hey, I'm invested and this is going somewhere. So it's really casual.
So you would get someone something at your casual dating?
When I was involved in that type of lifestyle, like I said, it was that $4 box of chocolate.
Okay.
And
Come in and say you got $5.
Okay.
and that $1 rose. And from that experience, you guys, I can say it's a waste of time, the casual stuff.
I have a question. And this is a conversation I had with a group of girls. And I am interested to know your thoughts. Is it okay to be, I don't know if I want to use the word superficial about certain things when choosing to date or a partner? So the conversation kind of went by saying, if I feel like I deserve somebody that's making, I don't know, $65 a year, is it superficial of me, or is it okay for me to be the person that makes the decision? Like, if you're not making that, then I don't want nothing to do with you. Is it okay to be superficial in dating?
I would say, okay, that's a great question. Because I know, like, when I was dealing with religion, I'm thinking, like, I don't find this person attractive. It's no chemistry. I don't necessarily care for how much they make, or they're not making what I would expect, but they're nice. So I'm going to be involved because they're nice. And then it's like, okay, the other side of that would be like, hey, I want them making this amount of money, this type of look. And I would say it's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're on that level too.
So as long as you can reciprocate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
True.
it doesn't, I don't want to just limit it. I know you're about to say something.
Yeah.
I don't want to just limit it to money. It can be,
Education.
their looks. Yep.
Yeah, looks.
How they dress or how
Yes.
they talk, or, I mean, any, the superficial
Yes.
things. Height, like I said, if he not 7 feet, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Well, I will say superficial is like, what is it? Relating to the surface, external or outward. Well, if your point in dating is to, go to the next level and then the next level after that, I would say I think it's bad to be superficial, because you might miss out on a good person, someone who's actually for you, someone who you actually will end up loving.
So I'm gonna play Angel's advocate.
Angels, wow! I never.
No, when I
I'll
went to Regent, they were like, we don't play devil's advocate. We play Angel's advocate. So
Shout out to Regent. Shout out.
I'm gonna play Angel's advocate. And Sam, so you're saying, and I know you're married, so it's kind of a moot point at this point, but
go back in time, if
yes.
you will.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Yes,
Let's go back.
let's
go back.
travel
Let's take it back.
together. Journey back in time. Let's say there's a nice woman you're not attracted to. I'm not saying she's not attractive, but you are not physically attracted to her external.
Right.
Are you even going to give her the opportunity to get to the point where you can see her heart?
I think. Well, here's the thing. I think you have. Me and my wife talk about this. I think there has to be a level of attraction in order for you to,
So then you can be a little superficial.
I could be a little superficial, but as far as like specifics, I think that's what you're saying. Like, has to make this, has to have that. Honestly, for me, when I was dating, this is gonna sound bad, but you at least had to be a 6. Because that's average, right?
Okay, so I see what he's saying. He's saying when you got your checklist, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to go one box, one box, one box.
Right.
It's like you gotta be 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Like there's
Isn't that a box?
There's in the same box. Like, okay, you don't have to be, 5'9". She could be between 5'3" and 5'11".
Yeah.
But you can't
Their
be 4'11".
range is correct. Like, yeah. So that's it's a little bit super, like a little bit super.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean,
With grace.
I mean, but if you think about I think this is how the world's set up. Most men do pursue the woman. I think that's how it mostly is set up. So, I mean, we got to be a little superficial. Because, I mean, if you think about it, the point of dating for me is to get in a relationship and then marry someone. This is someone you have to live with for the rest of your life. So if they don't look,
You can't wake up to them for the next 50.
if they're unpleasant to look upon, I'm gonna put it like that.
Unpleasant to look upon.
Then
Beautifully
I don't
challenged.
think I would pursue. No. And is that superficial? It might be, but yeah. So, but I will say, having that checklist of this woman has to look just like this, just like this, just like this. In the past, that's got me with some horrible women, horrible relationships. So I eventually stopped having a checklist. I'm just like, yo, whoever I vibe with at this point and is definitely attractive. And my wife is beautiful. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. She's more than attractive. You're beautiful. I love you. Mwah. All right. Anyway, moving on.
It was the fact that he covered it.
Yeah. So I didn't want y'all to see it. So we're gonna ask you the same question. Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay to be a little bit superficial.
Okay.
That's the standpoint that I have, because I do believe that you shouldn't have to settle.
Come on.
But going back to the conversation earlier about your list, I think you need to be realistic. And I also agree with Kwamina's point that you can't expect a standard of someone that you aren't able to provide yourself. So what I mean is, if you're not out here driving a Bentley, you shouldn't expect your partner to tomorrow be able to buy you a Bentley. Now, if you whatever you pushing, if your dreams or aspiration is to one day be able to push a Porsche, or I mean whatever it is, then maybe that's something that y'all work toward together. But I don't feel like you should be able to say, "No, I'm not dating you because you can't do this for me."
It's, when we're talking about superficial and having a list, I gotta say that income was not on my list. I wasn't looking for that in a partner.
Yeah. I was like, as a provider, for a man to be a provider, I'm like, it's okay if he doesn't have that on his list, how much a woman should make. And then we had got into, like what Kim was like, some men do want women to make a certain amount, and that's for a certain lifestyle that they want to live. And that's okay too.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's okay to desire that. I mean, now, if I'm not saying that that's what you're going to get, but I think it's okay to have a desire, that she's bringing in this because you have an idea of what you want your life to look like. Or if he's already pulling down decent money and is accustomed to a certain lifestyle, we should be able to build together, enriching our lifestyle. Not necessarily materialistic, but even being able to put away for retirement, or being able to take rest and vacations at a certain level, because that's what I'm used to providing for myself.
Got you. So it's kind of like, and this is one of the topics on our agenda, looks versus character. And is it safe to say that when you're dating, we look at looks first?
How you?
Go ahead, Theron. Yes.
How you supposed to see
focus.
somebody's character?
By watching them.
Right, but what are you watching? You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
If
What
you're
do
at the gas
you said? What do you
station-
see first? And that's what I
Looks.
was saying. But I would say, like we were talking about in that talking dating phase, that's where you're now. Okay, I've already seen that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you look like. What do you actually look like? And
Right.
then
Mhm.
that's what that data is supposed to be
Gathering,
about. Yeah.
Have you ever dated someone like you know them and you learned about who they are? Maybe their character isn't that good. Did you continue to date them because they look good? I have.
Tell us about this. Why'd you continue dating the person?
I was stupid. First of all,
In the moment, why did you do it?
in the moment, why did I do it? I honestly because my flesh was,
Weak.
weak. Thank you.
Enticed.
She made me say that. I didn't even want to say that.
That's
She
how
made
women
me
do
say
it.
You didn't have to own that.
It was. But it was though. And I mean, the point I was in my life, I wasn't really worried about all the connection and stuff like that. How this person is going to be as a mother or a wife. I wasn't worried about that. So yeah. I'm pretty sure people do that all the time. Have any of you done it? You want to be transparent and open about it, or y'all perfect?
Back to when I was superficial versus non-superficial. By the way, when I was not being superficial, that's what led to those cheap Valentine gifts.
Cheap.
I forgot, what was the question again?
Oh, have you ever dated someone knowing that they had bad character,
Yes.
but looked good, but you kept dating them?
Or
even though-
was financially able to keep me in a lifestyle? Yes. And it was always to my detriment in the end.
Mhm.
Because those character flaws,
Red flags.
they're red flags. And if you're enticed by the looks or enticed by the money they're throwing your way, those character flaws are gonna eat at you.
Yeah.
When is it somebody's when is how somebody treats you their character versus their mistake?
Ooh.
After so many times, like when I've brought it to
Yeah.
your attention, because I think I won't say that I've dated anybody who's just like a bad person. I don't think I attracted bad people. I think I genuinely attracted good people with just some flaws. So for example, like I know I've dated guys that were great guys, but when it came to relationships, they just for whatever reason, I mean, I'm not here to try and diagnose anything or
They
figure out
folded.
what the reason was. The goodness didn't spill over into that aspect of their life. And so I would sometimes stay in the relationship longer than I knew I probably should have, because I see the good in 90% of your life. So I know you're capable. I know the potential is there for
Mhm.
you to be who I think you can be. But again, at some point, it's like, all right, well, we've been here going around this same bush for way too long.
Yeah.
For my own sanity, my own future, I got to get up out of here.
I think another sign is like how they treat other people. Because I've dated some women who treated other people horribly, and I was blind to it. I just looked right past it. Then I ended up getting treated the same way. So
And it's crazy that there's the two different, because y'all both saying the same thing but exact opposite. Is that you saw how she treated other people, and you should have seen like, dang, that's what she does to me. That's no good. But her is the opposite of like, she sees how he was treating other people like, oh yeah, that's coming my way
Right.
tomorrow. It's gonna show up tomorrow, and it's tomorrow coming and it's
coming.
not there. And so it's like that disconnect of who you were treated by, but in the opposite direction. That's interesting.
I wonder if that's
Yeah.
a man-woman thing.
Could-
No,
No.
because I've seen it in your light too, where it's like, oh, I know you can do this,
But for
but you
whatever
ain't do that for
reason-
me. Yeah, you
for
ain't do
whatever
that for
reason,
me.
yeah.
all right, so we're gonna jump into this next topic about men versus women pursuing, and what do you prefer, and what is frowned upon? And because it seems like some people frown upon women pursuing a man. Is there an issue with that? I'm gonna ask Darian. Is there an issue with a woman pursuing you?
I think they gotta be super smooth with it to the point where I don't know I'm being pursued.
Butter.
And like you could be like, oh dang, you here? Like I didn't even know you was gonna be here looking this good today. Wow. Like, but she knew like, oh, okay, this is where I got. That can be her pursuing me, but her role would be like, yo, I'm here. Where you at? Like, And before, I feel like it used to happen a lot more when I was younger, and I don't know if that's a point where women have gotten to a point, like you said, it's frowned upon to put yourself out there.
Right.
But as like younger, like I'm talking about way, way back in those spots, girls be like, I like you. And I'm or, oh girl, go tell him that he cute.
Right.
Like that stuff, what happened? But now it's like, but in all those moments, I would be like, ooh, she kind of thirsty. But that was an immature version of me, not recognizing that this woman sees value in who I am. I don't have to go prove it. Right. Even though after a while, like, yeah, the proof needs to be in the point. But early on, they at least see some semblance of good where I will be out here, girl, not even paying attention. Hey, excuse me, ma, like, let me talk to you for a second. Like, even though she's not giving me the time of day to be like, oh yeah, I pulled her. You know what I mean? Like,
so is there an ideal way a woman would, let you know what's up?
I think that, like I said, it's got to be, there's certain smooth, subtle ways. I'll give an example. Somebody was talking about, we were talking about food or something, and it was like an ongoing, like, little joke, and I was never really about to, like, set nothing up. I'm just like, it's whatever. And then I made another joke about it, and then they were like, yeah, let me know, because I'm looking forward to it. And at that moment, I was like, oh, I can read that. I can read between those lines. Like, she actually really wants to go out, not just keep joking around and having a conversation.
Okay. But I will take this time to tell you that this is not to get your head big or anything, but I got some friends that's been asking about you.
We need to have,
Just so
oh
you
my
know.
gosh.
Do that. Whatever the idea is, we don't need to have
My
it.
gosh.
But they're not going to approach you. That's the thing. Like,
It's okay.
like,
It's okay.
I'm just like, why
Let me take the reins.
Yeah,
Who do you let you take the reins? What you talking about?
We're going to make this like
matchmaker?
like.
I don't think he wants that.
Listen. Remember Sam last year or whatever?
The dating game.
Yes.
Yeah, we did a promo.
Put Darian on one side and then have them on the other side. Ask questions.
That sounds so stressful.
If you guys think we should do that, I need you to drop it in the comments. Say, yes, set up Darian's dating game. Darian's dating game.
Could.
I think it.
Hey. I got COVID for the next 2 months.
We're on the brink of a new season.
Yeah.
Spring is near.
April coming.
Hey.
Quick.
Hey.
You guys can jot down some of his preferences.
It's his consent. We have to get his consent first. We'll get that, and then we'll get back with y'all to see if we'll actually do that.
I think that's a wonderful idea. So, Sam, how do you feel about women pursuing?
It's just how they do it. Being in college, they would be very aggressive.
Did
So
you
like
the aggressiveness?
The same experience.
No, not really. I guess I was back in those days. I was kind of like frowning upon. I'm like you said, thirsty or desperate. I mean, those are the words that would come to mind. But it's. I think it's just how they approached it, and they were young, so I was young too. So it's like, I don't have a problem with the woman pursuing, but at the same time, you gotta keep it classy, smooth like butter.
What about a woman proposing to a man?
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Oh Lord, how do I feel about that?
Yeah,
like if it were to happen to me, or
just what are your thoughts in general? Period.
I really don't have thoughts on it. It's whatever you want to do.
So you're in support of if a woman feels like she's gonna propose.
I didn't say I supported it. I just don't care.
Sam off the market. So he like, I don't care.
I have no thoughts about it. It's just like every time I see it, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah,
Like
so you say,
So,
oh,
all right, no,
what does that mean?
I'm gonna put him in a. We already went to past Sam. Now we're going to future Sam.
Mhm.
Your daughter living a great life.
Ooh, yeah.
She done met a real good man. They haven't, you met
Samuela.
him. He's great. You know this would be an amazing partnership. And she like, Dad, I think I'm about to propose to him.
This is
What you
little
gonna
baby
tell
Sam.
her?
This is little baby Sam.
I look her dead in her face and say, oh.
What is that?
It's like, no, I'm
mean?
kidding. I just feel the way we raise our daughter, it wouldn't be like that. Because of the
How are you raising her?
because of my wife's example to her as a woman and
So
how
how
she
is your
should
wife? Wait, why is that?
to be pursued.
Okay.
Because that's how my wife was raised.
So then, are you saying that it's an issue
It's
if your daughter chose to propose?
I wouldn't say it's an issue. There's nothing that can happen like to my daughter that would make me not support her, if you know what I'm saying.
So
Like,
you would be okay. I mean, you wouldn't be like,
I would have to be.
you wouldn't be like, yeah, I think this is a great idea, girl. But you would be like, I mean, this is what you choose to do.
I would tell her I would tell her how I feel about it, but at the end of the day, I can't. It's her choice. I mean,
so what would you tell her when you tell her how you feel about it?
I mean, that's like 10 years from now. I have no clue.
But you gotta feel right because you're saying, hey,
so are y'all trying to get me ready for this or something?
No, what we're trying to do, I think is you like,
yeah.
Hey, your mother didn't need to ask me to do that because I got to the point where
Right.
I wanted to be that for her.
Yeah.
And if he loved you the way we're talking about right now, that makes you want to propose to him, let him do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can say that and she's like, no, this is what I want to do. And then you can be like, go do you. But I think what we were saying is that you have an ideal, the same way we're talking about things on a checklist for a relationship. You have an ideal way you might want it to happen. But if it changes under his will, then you're like, do what you got to do. But I think what we're trying to get to is that initially you will be like, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, I would have some thoughts about it. Like, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. But, I tell her I love her. And,
I support you, baby.
I support you no matter what. I mean, me and your mom are your biggest support system. So you got to support your kids and what they do as long as it's like not killing them.
How you feel about it, Kwamina? Would you propose to a man?
No, it makes me cringe.
You asked that with so much force.
What?
Would you propose to a man? She did it.
And she's like, nope.
Like the order of things, I had it explained to me this way. It was like a man in love is built to like, he'll want to lay down his life for his family. She was the same lady was like, when we're scared, we go hide behind something. If we hear a funny sound at the door, we're not built to go and protect. So it's like we're getting on one knee and saying, hey,
Ooh.
I don't know, like, hey, I'm laying down my life. It's like, it's just so out of order to me.
Yeah, you know what? And while we were talking about this, I looked up the scripture, that we always quote when people get engaged or married, that he that finds a wife finds the New Living Translation actually says a treasure.
Ooh.
And receives favor from the Lord. So if you have taken that as a woman, if you've taken that privilege from him and proposed, is he finding a wife?
Nope.
I
mean,
beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Would you looky there? That's a ring, ain't it?
I don't.
You interpret the scripture differently?
Kind of.
Okay.
But honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, pursuing, finding.
You went after
it. I feel like you already found this person by just coming to know them. It's just your it's your choice. Yeah, it's your choice to say, oh, I want to marry this person. But you already 9 times out of 10, you've already found your wife, when you're dating.
He's found them in that person, found a wife in that person before proposing.
Exactly.
So she was presenting herself with wifely characteristics.
Yes.
She has been found as a wife.
I've heard it that way too.
I like that. And that's what made you propose. Because you're like, hey, she's already my wife in spirit. So I might as well just finalize this and propose. But let's say that hasn't happened. You guys are dating and then someone is getting on their knees proposing to one of,
To one of us?
Yeah.
Or at that moment, you could have found it and just not.
She beat you to the punch.
All honesty, beat you to the punch. There's a lot of other things. I know this matters to her. The ring she likes costs $8,000. I got 6. What do? You don't got it. Right. So now you waiting for a paycheck when you already found a wife. And she pulls up and she like, ding, 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 ding. And you like, oh, I was going to ask you. I ain't with it, but I'm just playing angel's advocate
But I mean, is there anywhere in the Bible where it says a woman can't propose to a man? So should you have a problem that a woman is proposing to a man? That's what she wanted to do in her heart. I mean, I can't really judge her off of that decision. I can't even judge the man off of that decision because if he say yes, it's raps. They together.
I'm not here. I can't judge anybody off of it either because if there is a scripture, it's hidden in one of them verses that I have yet to come across. But I'm gonna have to side with Kwamina, and it couldn't be me.
So does it bother you that other women do it?
But the scripture is like the nature of it for females is to be kind of demure anyway, coy, not like aggressive and out in the forefront doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean, while I can't say there's a scripture that talks about a woman proposing to a man, the scripture that I do know of people getting together, the woman may have been present and made herself known, but it was still at the action of the man that they ended up together, whether it was him going to, I'm thinking of the story, who was with her mother-in-law, and was it Ruth and Naomi?
Yes.
And Boaz,
Boaz, yeah.
And Boaz went because there was a closer relative, but Boaz, he saw something in Ruth and was like, well, let me just go make sure that we good here first before I do take her on as my wife. So she was there working, helping, doing whatever, made her presence known. She went and legged the man's feet, and just kidding. Just kidding, Ruth. But it was still at his action that they became, husband. He took her as his wife. So I can't say either, though, that I have or recall scripture where the woman was like, "Yo, you trying to come marry me and stay in my daddy house?"
Aggressive, much.
I mean, I'm still even thinking, is it biblical? Because don't they say that Jesus Christ has gone to prepare a place to come back to get his bride?
Yes.
So, is it biblical? I mean, again, I'm not. If you choose to get on your knee, woman, for your man, that's your business. I'm not here. I don't have no room to judge anybody. But I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I mean, so it does bother you when you see a woman propose to a man.
It does.
It bothers you.
It does.
Something in your spirit.
I would say it bothers me, but it's not something that I lose sleep over at night. Because I mean, it ain't my life. I do, wish that she could experience the contrary. I mean, because even if we go back to like our middle school, high school, watching Love and Hip Hop, when Chrissy got on her knee to propose to Jim Jones, like I feel like she proposed to him more out of, because it's been years and he ain't popped the question to me. So let me go ahead and take matters into my own hands. And so if that's the situation, then I'm sorry. I wholeheartedly do not support that situation.
So let me say something. So we're all made as equals, right? Y'all know where I'm going with this?
No, I don't.
So I'm like, the argument could be was like, well, we all made as equals. Why can't a woman propose to a man?
But I still feel like to me, it's not biblical, because even when you look at Adam and Eve, the first husband-wife, man-woman relationship, when they got in trouble, God didn't ask where Eve was. The man is who
held accountable.
Is who he held accountable, because you're supposed to be the head of the household. So I think
does it make you any less of the head of the household because a woman proposed to you?
In my opinion, yes.
So I think it doesn't make you. Does it make you less of a good manager at work if you didn't prepare the financial statements at the end of the night? It doesn't make you any less of a manager. However, why is the person who's supposed to work the front desk doing your job?
You're right.
That's a good.
That's
You're
so
right.
good.
That's a good analogy.
That's a good analogy. I
And then-
have nothing else to say about
And then
it.
Darian, let's say you don't want to be the manager of that particular franchise. So it's like this person proposing or doing managerial duties. It's like I feel like she's putting the man in a position that he may not want to be in. Like I was just cool with us dating. Now
Yeah,
it's
I'm ready.
yeah. Now we're here, and you're initiating it. You're being aggressive. He might not want to be the head of household for her household.
That's why I said there's a way. If we're gonna be, there's a way for a woman to propose to me, but it's not down on one knee.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
But her actions.
Oh yeah, this would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice if we got married at such and such? No.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. My wife did make like leading up to the point of me proposing. She made hints about marriage and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know if she subconsciously.
Yes. Yes. You got.
But I already knew.
Poor Sam.
No. I already
Sam,
knew
you got
she-
lucky.
I already knew she was the one now, so I had no issue with her saying what she said.
And that's what I was gonna say, Sam. You said you had already saw wifely qualities in her. You had already picture her like, hey, as a mother, I can see she's the one. You had already like that set up. So sometimes you alluded to this too, Darren. It's like, okay, if the person did propose and you was feeling her and you wanted her to be wife, it's like, oh, she beat me to the punch. But you had already saw wifely things in her. So you getting on your knee was like, hey, let's finalize this.
Yeah. I will say this: women are very influential. They're the most influential being on the earth. And yeah, I was influenced into marriage, but I was willingly influenced.
Yeah,
It's
you
just-
weren't coerced.
Yeah, I wasn't coerced like she had like a voodoo doll or something, put me on a knee. Nah, it wasn't nothing like that.
But do you feel like your life has improved?
My life improved before we got married.
Right, but
Yeah.
but because of like she helped improve your.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's a sign of like this is the woman you need to spend the rest of your life with. Does your life get better? Do you have favor from out of nowhere? Like
it's from the Lord.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I mean, that's really when I knew. 'cause-
Earthly out of nowhere, but the Lord is trying to tell you, hey, what you doing is right, player. Like,
And as far as a woman, I don't know when y'all know when. Well, let my wife tell it. God told her in the midst of a situation we had, like bad situation. He told her. What about you? I mean, how do you know? How did you know?
So for me, and we don't have enough time, but
We got about 5 minutes.
I was in a really strange situation personally. Like I wasn't dating anyone, but I desired that. I mean, that's not, if you're connected to the mountain, that's nothing new. I mean, no surprise there. And I just remember one morning having like one of those like cry out to the Lord moments. And I went for a run. It was during the pandemic. And I usually don't run to gospel music. I mean, I like, a little bit more.
Hip hop.
Yeah.
run to ratchet.
Yes, I run
Run to ratchet.
yeah, absolutely. But this morning, I guess because I was in such a desperate place, I felt like I needed to spend more time with God. So I turned on my gospel music. And I literally felt like I got answers. Now, granted, I wasn't dating my now fiance, but he was deposited in my spirit in that moment. Like it literally
wow.
felt like I don't know how else to explain it, that after that, I went back and reached out to him, and then the rest is history. But he was somebody that I was familiar with, that I, thought about, as far as dating or, a potential future with, but it just had not gotten to that point. And then because I don't like to string anybody along, as I said earlier, I don't deal with anybody until I feel like I'm ready or I'm at a place where I can give you the attention or whatever is needed. And I literally during that run, it was just so crazy. And then like I said, I went back and I reached out to him. So I guess you can say God told me,
Wow.
but it wasn't like hey, he's the one. It was like, now's the time to reach out to him type of thing. And then from there,
So it kind of is like God told you. That's crazy. Wow. That's what's up. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
I told you, shoot your shot.
I actually did though. I mean,
she didn't miss. She didn't miss.
I did. So years ago, I did initiate the first conversation for us.
Hey, look. So that's a good example right there. It's okay to pursue.
But I ain't gonna just keep. If you don't show interest back, or if it's not reciprocated, or you ghosting, all this kind of stuff. Well, I ain't doing all that. I'm gonna put it out there so that
Right.
hey, I'm at least interested. I might not say, hey, you want to go grab dinner? But I'll, oh, I saw you doing this, or good job doing this, or, I'll subtly make a statement just to kind of get the conversation going. Because I think based off the conversation, then you should be able to, gather.
between the
Right. It
lines.
take you you thought, okay, this conversation take 4 minutes and he'll realize. Then it'd be 8 minutes. He's like, dang, are you going to get
We're kind of slow. Yeah, we're kind of slow as men.
Are you going to figure it out? But that's
But
the
Kim,
way.
I got you. You said you do not chase, but you'll initiate.
Yeah, I'll throw a little
It's a
bait.
difference.
I throw a little bait.
Big difference. I'm glad you guys actually talked about the chasing and initiating, because I had a friend who hit me up and was like, I'm not good at flirting. What should I say to this person? Boom, boom, boom. I really didn't know what to say. I just get to know them as a friend. But I think the way you're talking about it is a little more
Yes.
intentional. Like,
Well, and I think, Sam, you can help them. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be like, hey, girl, or guy, this girl likes you, girl, here's welcome, introduce them like that. Or I don't know if they know each other or whatever already, but you can kind of help if you think that they might be a good fit as a friend. You and your wife can invite them, like y'all have game night or something like
That's
that
a
to
setup.
put them to, well, it doesn't have to
Have
just be
other
the two
people
of
there
them though.
too.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
Oh,
you
got
can-
you, got
you
They're
you.
can-
now in the same spot. And
That's
he
And,
Got
like,
you.
and here's your
That's it.
opportunity. Now,
Got you.
the rest is on you. If you choose to sit beside him on the couch, or y'all gonna be on the same team, work your magic,
That's
girl.
true, though.
You work your magic. Your friend they done got you in the room. Now you got pull it together yourself. You gotta be a big girl if he ain't trying to be a big boy.
Right.
because there's been a time where some sort of situation, my friend, his wife, and I was like, hold up. Why ain't nobody tell me that she had a fine sister? Why didn't nobody tell me that? Y'all been dating for a long time and nobody let me know. All right, I see how it is.
Dang.
Yeah,
But
so
it played to it because
I think you should report back.
Okay.
He needs some
I think
time.
it
He
was-
needs some time.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
not
it-
next
it's-
week. I'm
yeah,
not
it's
saying
gonna-
he has to report back
And
next
Darian,
week.
I'll
with
report
you,
back
did
with
you
it,
start
definitely.
showing up to events where the fine sister was at?
Oh, they didn't get rid of me for a little stretch there. I was like, oh, okay. He thought like we was better
Sunday
friends.
dinner.
We won't.
Sunday dinner there.
Ah.
But why
Monday
didn't you
dinner.
express the fact you was liking the sister?
Oh no, I talked to his sister for a little bit. It was for a little brief,
Little chat.
Yeah, mhm. Yeah. So we covered a lot of different things today, and I know it was all over the place, but that's good. That's how the relationships be. Sometimes they be here, then they be there. So like, I appreciate y'all for coming along this journey with us. Please come back next time. And in the meantime, I'm gonna confirm right now, we ain't doing that show. I don't care what y'all talk about.
He's saying we're not doing the dating.
We
Yes,
ain't doing it,
yes.
dog.
It might be against your will at this point because you're not cooperating.
The next time we record, they're just gonna be here.
Oh Lord!
Just kidding. I wouldn't do you like that.
Oh Lord!
I'll let you know walking into the room.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
appreciate
We'll let
that.
him know.
You
He
got-
might not
you got
show
3
up.
minutes. Pull it together.
But yeah. So like he said, thank y'all guys for tuning in. See y'all next time on Sunday Ain't Enough.
Peace.